What is up, and welcome back to the Beyond Kicks podcast. On today's episode, we have a few more lists for you guys. We're going to be talking about the top collaborators of the year. We're going to be talking about the shoes that had the best materials this year, packaging, independent brands, and a whole lot more.
As well as some sneaker news, such as Nike is finally dropping a good book one, as well as the first in-hand look of the Jordan 4 White Cement from 2025.
It's about time, but there's a whole lot more. Of course, we'll probably be reminiscing a lot from just this past year, because I'm pretty sure this is the last episode for the year. So a lot to dive into, but sit back, can't speak, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Beyond Kicks podcast. End of the year, baby. We made it.
We did make it. Another year under the belt. I didn't even realize it was the last podcast of the year, but yeah, next Friday is January 3rd. So
yep. We love it, dude. It's been a long one, but honestly, this year just flew by. And if you're watching, my backdrop is different. I'm currently waiting for the last piece of my desk to arrive. So I've ripped up the sneaker shelves. They're all over in this corner, stacked to the side. The other side of the room is just boxes and half a simple desk. So it's kind of all over the place today, but
fair enough.
We make it work. But how's your week been? What's new? Any fun pickups before we dive into everything?
Yeah, so it was a busy last week. Wolves game, ton of fun. When did we record? I can't remember.
That's what I was trying to figure
out. I think Wednesday, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we talked about the Wolves game at all, did we?
I don't think so. I mean, you can dive into it a little bit. Just
break at the Wolves. Pretty fun. It was fun seeing everything up close. Shout out to Adidas and Champ Sports. They hooked it up. Definitely one of those like once in a lifetime experiences, which was fun. So was a ton of fun. I did a couple of vlogs on it if you want to see that. Just incredible. Super fun. And then what else? I had to go get a new phone because my phone battery was torched. So I went to the Wolves game. I was not wanting to get a new phone. I was like, there's not even like an upgrade or anything this year, but went to the Wolves game, couldn't bring in camera. So it's iPhone and Fuji. So it's like, all right, this is like, I have to vlog it. It's like, there's going to be other stuff with Twins games in the future. I have something kind of cool planned in January as well, where I'm going to only need my phone. So I went to the game with 85% battery. And by the end of the first quarter, it was completely dead. And I didn't stream anything. I got like maybe 20 minutes of clips. No, not maybe 5 minutes of clips. 20 minutes, like the entire video is 10 minutes cut down into the 1.5 or whatever it was, but it was like 5 minutes clips. Like, so I was like, all right, this doesn't work. And so I looked, I had like 700 full charge cycles in a year, which is like way a ton. So I'm a very heavy user.
That's kind of a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. So the battery was torched. I ended up just getting a new one. Was not wanting to do it, but last minute business expense, I guess. So I guess we'll see, because I have a meeting with an advisor after this. So we'll see if that was worth it or not. But I needed to do it because there's other stuff coming this new year that I need my phone for.
That's a good point. You said how many charge cycles? I'm looking at mine now.
It was 672 charge cycles, and I got the phone October 2023 till December 2022.
Yeah, because I'm at 485 cycle count, and I got mine in September, which I feel like
that's like one a day, a little bit more than one a day.
Yeah. And there's days where I don't even charge my phone, because luckily, I mean, like working remote,
that doesn't exist.
I don't charge it at night most of the time. I just charge it during the day. So yeah, that's tough.
We were a heavy user this last year, so yeah, we'll had to do that. But pickups, I just got these in. I was hyping these up on one of the last podcasts. LZ, the new 360 model. These are super sick. They're kind of giving me like wrestling shoe vibes.
Definitely.
They're pretty cool. I'm impressed with the materials. Are really nice. The upper is like a really nice mesh that has kind of embroidery prints throughout, and then it's got a really nice leather exoskeleton with like a sock upper good outsole. These are impressive.
Their outsole traction, like the pattern they use, is super cool because I loved it on the last pair too. I like those.
Yeah, the only thing is the all black colorway is not very flashy to launch with. The white colorway that they just announced was super cool. So shout out them. These are cool.
Especially for like videos and reviews. It's like when it's just an all black sneaker.
Yeah.
Not as exciting, I guess, to look at if that track.
100%. I got the new gallery department A6 from your boy. Shout out to that. So if you don't follow the Instagram, definitely do that because it's growing. But Seth sent over a little Christmas gift of the gallery department A6. They're the ones I wanted, the white ones. Yeah, they're super cool. I got them on the shelf right there.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, they're in the rotation already. They're super fire. So thank you.
Beat them up. Of course, bro. Of course.
I can.
That's super.
So I got those. And then I managed to hit on the Travis Scotts as well, which pretty exciting there. It's my first Travis Scott size 11 retail hit ever.
Oh yeah, because you got the little mics, right? When you didn't hit on the others.
Yes. Yeah. So I've never hit on my size. I've hit on a lot of kids Travis Scotts that I'll flip and do whatever with, but I've never hit on a Nike Travis Scott collab in my size. And I hit on Travis's website and then I hit on the sneakers app. So it was
that's crazy.
Nice. Good little double dip.
How many different raffles did you enter?
Those two and then undefeated.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't usually get too crazy with it. Some of the past ones, like the fragments and the higher end ones, I've gone entered a bunch of them, but I've been entering Travis Scott raffles for 5 years. I went and looked back. So
that's wild.
5 years it took to hit one retail, but we hit two. So I think I'm going to do a little, since I finally hit retail, when I get the second pair on, I'm going to do a little announcement in the review, like drop a comment. I'm going to give these to somebody else for retail. So
that's dope.
The second pair. So it's like a cool colorway too, all brown. Like I think I'll actually wear them. So
yeah, those I actually went for them on the sneakers app, and then I think just Kith because I got the notification and I was like, sure. I'm typically not the type to enter, 5-10 different raffles like I know a lot of people do. For me, like I like the colorway. If I hit it, cool. I'll rock them. If I don't, whatever. But I do think this is one of the better colorways. I know a lot of people were saying it's pretty boring because it is. But I mean, it's a brown shoe. You can't mess it up.
It is pretty boring, but I think tossing in some cream laces might be the move.
Yeah. And the quality, that's always the plus side. If they did every release like this, it'd be crazy.
Yeah. That was a nice little Christmas gift for me. Otherwise, that's been about it. What about you?
I did get some surprise stuff the other day. I posted this on my story. There's a whole slew of different items. Bima Williams is now the new, I don't remember the title. It's like collaborations, director over at Skull Candy. So he sent over a nice care package of a ton of different stuff. I didn't know what to expect because before the video went live, he was like, oh yeah, what's your, address? I'm going to send you some stuff from Skull Candy. And I was like, interesting, weird, but sure. Yeah, I'll take whatever. But sent over 5 different things, like some earbuds, overheads, some like camping and outdoor centered speakers, which are all, stuff that I would definitely use. So excited to break it out and see how it all handles. I did get some other just random sneakers in the mail, some Currys. I was in Knoxville this past weekend and I got just like the Amazon locker notification where it was like, ding, 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 here's 3 things in your locker. One of them, I knew what it was, but I can't get it yet because they put it in our other locker and the key won't turn. So I'm waiting for USPS to get it out. But I know it's a gift from Drift House, the dudes that blessed me with the A6 chai teas. He said he sent over a Christmas gift. I don't know what it is yet, so I'm excited.
There you go.
Whenever USPS gets everything right. But these are a pair of Currys. I've never had a pair of Currys. These are the Curry 12 EXTL. I know nothing about the brand. I just know Steph Curry, but very, very bright Volt shoe. I'm going to have to do some research on these. I have no idea.
It's his new model. He was actually just at SneakerCon over the weekend, which is pretty cool to see. But
Really?
he's one of those lifetime deals with Under Armour, and I mean Curry's the best point guard of all time. It's not even close.
For sure. So I'm excited to check out that new model though. Like the tech seems cool. The other two pairs I got in, really excited about these. So I got hit up by 100 Thieves. They loved the last review I did, and they just randomly sent me a DM, and they were like, yo, would you like, can we send you two of our more friends and family collaborations that we're doing with Adidas? And I said, sure. They're both one of 50. Luck, whatever the size is. They sent me their golf Palos Hill model, their new, model with Adidas. Got the nice thick golf tread on that Samba.
That's sick.
Sole. Like, these are cool, dude. Very, very, very soft leather, which I like.
I bet.
I don't golf, but this is one that I'm like, cool. If I ever go golf, I may wear these, but it's one of 50. So I'm like, I really, do I wear it? Do I not wear it? Do I just forever? I don't know. That one's
that's cool.
That one was pretty dope. Other one they sent me in just like a legit sample box, nothing at all. But these are probably my favorite that they sent over. They're different, but or they have like a few different details on them. But these are the Nade Shot Rivalry Low. I'm assuming maybe it's the 87 version. I don't know. On the heel, can't really tell, but it says Nade Shot. Ton of like cool little details, but this is like his exclusive colorway of the model. I mean, what else is there to say? It's blue, white, red. I love it. This one's going to be in the collection forever. Definitely some of the most limited sneakers that I've ever had, but I love it, dude. Super cool. Shout out to 100 Thieves. Never thought I would say that.
I'm a big Nade Shot fan. He's the way he's the way he's built the company, but like how he's transitioned his brand. Dogs are barking like crazy. Transitioned his brand into be more casual and streaming, and he's been doing that. So
it's cool because I've been seeing him more in the public face of the company, I guess more so than I have in the past. I'm not like really big into esports, so I don't follow it as much as I probably should. I mean, like I play Call of Duty, I'll watch a few streamers from here and there, but most of it is just trying to figure out what loadouts are the best to use in Warzone. So that's pretty much where I, consume all of my gaming content. But just the fact that they were able to secure an Adidas collaboration as far as apparel, accessories, and footwear goes, I just think it is so cool. And, you just love to see brands like that win. And especially just Adidas giving 100 Thieves their own sneaker was super cool. But like you were saying, like I've been seeing Nade Shot everywhere. I know he was on Colin and Samir too recently, which is like just, it's cool. He's like being more open. But yeah, it's awesome. I love to see esports teams sort of just switching it up. But
100%.
It's cool. How do we want to do this? I'm trying to think. Should we dive into some sneaker news? Do a little.
Let's rip through the sneaker news.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's do that. I know there were a few little topics that came through.
Yeah, so start off kind of cool in here. More Grinch cleats, but this time we're getting a mismatch pair.
Interesting.
Not much to it. They basically they're re-releasing the green pair on Christmas morning, but then they're also creating the mismatch pair, which is the reverse Grinch as well as a regular Grinch.
That's cool. That rug they used for these photos. Fire. It's perfect for this.
Very Grinch. Very Grinch.
Very Grinch. I like that.
Yeah, they're cool.
Like, I mean, a lot of people do this already, right? Or they're starting to, where it's like, oh, I have both pairs. I'm just going to mismatch. So this one, you can just buy them mismatched, which is too cool.
It's been a thing for a while. It's funny that they're doing this because I'm going to pull up this secondary story. It made me think of this other one. Mismatched cleats are not always the most league friendly thing. Let me see if I can find this here.
Is it like frowned upon? Like the whole Jordan wearing the airships or whatever, and you get fined for it?
Yeah, so they've become a lot more lenient on cleats, obviously. I know the cleat game. I did it with Bailey all summer. You got to have team colors. And so not many teams are green and red. So this is like, I don't really know who's going to be rocking these. I know the Grinch cleats have been, it was basically the launch week. They had one player, each team was wearing the Grinch ones, it seemed like, to kind of promote them. But then I think like a week ago, maybe, Jalen Hurts, quarterback for the Eagles, was wearing mismatch green Jordan 11 cleats, and he ended up getting fined for it.
Of course.
So I think he got fined like $5,000. $5,000.
That's crazy. That's an interesting mismatch too. The lime or like darker green and light green. Is that like a Jordan 11?
It is. It's a Jordan 11 custom cleat straight from Nike, and it's like there are two different greens that they have for the Eagles. So they're darker, matches the turf, but then their green is like their throwback, like super light green is their throwback. So it's like, I don't know, something was it's not constitutional team color or a combination of black, white, and a constitutional. So it's like you can't wear two different shades. I don't know what the deal was, but yeah, Nike's coming out with mismatched Grinch cleats. So I'd be cool to see these on the field, especially on Christmas Day.
Oh, I feel like we're going to see that, right? They have to.
Well, I've been seeing the regular ones, so I hope we see those.
Yeah, someone has to do it. So I'll be keeping an eye out.
Kind of a cool one here. Jason Tatum recently had a Jordan 1 low pack with his Jason Tatum 3. Rui Hachimura, pretty random player to give Jordan 1 low PE to. This is the Jordan 1 low oatmeal.
Huh.
Rui Hachimura is a small forward for the Los Angeles Lakers. Very random. Like, that's like giving Naz Reid on the Timberwolves a shoe. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I think Naz Reid is even a bigger name than Rui Hachimura. Like, he's a good young player, but it's like it's very random. So it's a cool shoe. It's very cool. A lot of cool materials.
I don't mind it. I definitely don't. Who do you think has had the best Jordan 1 this year? Because I know they've been giving a lot of random players like their own Jordan 1. I know they did, wasn't it Chris Paul did the white one with sort of the floral designs. There's this one. There's another one. And there were like 3 or 4 this year, maybe.
I think Chris Paul's has been the best.
It definitely, like in my opinion, it was. The quality was insane. So I would assume the quality on these pretty good as well. Yeah, dude, those are nuts. I wanted to request boutique in Atlanta last week, and they had a pair of those behind the shelf, like in their little display case. And I saw it back there and I was like, that's a display case shoe. Like in my head, it's not, because it's just.
I think they are numbered too.
I think you're right.
If I'm not mistaken.
That's crazy. So I'm sure those are like stupid expensive. And I didn't think they would be. That was one of those early sneaker knockers pairs that I saw way before they came out. And I was just like, it's a cool shoe. Quality's high. I'll go for them. And of course, they're like super limited. So you're not going to be able to get them, which is so ridiculous.
And then we also have a new Jordan 5 Amamir white colorway coming out.
Okay. I mean, if it looks like this, I don't really like it, but we'll see.
It's all right. I like the 5 that they did previously, so.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they're doing too much too soon. When did the 5s come out? Last year?
I think that was this year.
Because no one really talked about them. At least this year.
I'm not sure when they came out. This one's slated for May 14th, 2025.
I feel like those had to come out last year. Let me scroll through. Yeah, it had to be. Definitely.
But yeah, anyways, cool shoe. Mock up, at least from Z. So I guess we'll see.
I hope they're good.
I just saw these got leaked that we might be getting them. So
we go and see. I'm sure we'll get another 5-pack from Amamanier next year. Maybe.
Yep.
We'll see. It'd be nice. They did have a great year. I don't know really why people were sleeping on the while you were sleeping pack. Like, I feel like there was a lot of good stuff in there, but it's all expensive. I feel like that's just the main reason.
This is one that I wanted to highlight. This is pretty cool. So I've been a big critic of the book one all year. They're finally releasing the best PE, the Forrest Gump, finally coming out.
No,
this was reported 52 minutes ago, so it's dropping January 22nd.
No way, dude! That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped about this. I'm definitely gonna grab these.
I'll get those, dude. That's actually, I'm super excited for you mainly, but like,
I saw this literally when I saw the article was live for like 2 minutes. So
you were like, yes,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's amazing. I just think this model looks so good, and they should be doing this more because we're coming up on a year, I think, of this shoe being out. They released when All-Star Weekend last year, this year, so it's probably around the same time. We should expect something different, but it's like, dude, this shoe's been out a year, and we've seen maybe max 10 colorways go to the retail shelves, and not many of them are super wearable.
Besides this and the Sedona colorway coming up.
Yeah.
Those are two that I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah. Like, dude, pump them out, bro. These are classic.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like at some point they'll do the Bayou.
Yeah.
And just do an all white, and you can Bayou customize it. I think that would be a hit. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. This is gas, though. January 22nd.
I forgot you said that a while ago. That was like months and months ago on the podcast. You were just like, do a Bayou. They'll be crazy. Everyone would do it. I would do it.
Yeah, you might have to plug the clip in when we talked about what they need to do with these.
Yeah.
I literally said release the Forrest Gumps. Like, it's a sick shoe.
That's so cool. Now I'm excited.
There you go. So yeah, pretty hyped about that.
Let's go.
Another big one here. This was live an hour ago as well. White Cement, first look in hand, 2025 pair.
Okay. I mean,
they look perfect.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at this and see if there's anything that's throwing me off, but it's pretty much
there's literally nothing that looks bad about them. The tongue normal, the back heel, the splatter print, the leather looks really nice, the netting looks crispy white.
I like
these are a double up for sure for me, because I know I'm gonna wear these into the ground.
Yeah. That was a crazy moment, you just showing me this shoe, because in my head I was like, oh, this looks perfect, like nothing's changed, and I'm like trying to find something to nitpick about it. And
no, they did a good retro, like the military blues or the industrial blues or whatever you want to call them. Like those had a great tint, and I've since put those in the box and put them in the garage. Like it's just a pair that it just feels chunky almost, and then it's like a tight, like a sort of gray tone, and this looks perfect. So they did a good job on this.
I dig it. Rock and roll.
Yep, need those. I don't know if you saw this too. Unheard of leaked another shoe. Got a All-Star or Adidas Adistar Cushion 3. This is the Piggy Runner.
Yeah, I was actually watching the Sneaky Leaks podcast where he like previewed these the other day, and it was like a few days before any blog sort of picked up that he was wearing these on the show. And I was like, oh, these are kind of cool. I shot him a DM when I saw these, and I was like, oh, these are a hit. And he was like, thank you, bro. Like the colors just look so good. I'm a huge fan.
These are sick. I'm a big fan of them. I like the semi-translucent outsole with the peg and tongue, the layering on the Adidas logo. The whole thing's pretty nice.
Yeah, like, because I would love to support him and his shop and everything he's doing, but like the rivalry just isn't a model I personally go for ever. A little too chunky for me. I would prefer to honestly wear like an SB Dunk. Just the upper's a little too bulky, but because he crushed it with those collabs that he did. But you know, I'm more of a mesh boy runner dude. So this is straight up my alley. And I love wearing their color pink. So rock and roll. Sign me up, dude. Sign me up.
Same here. I'm a big fan of it.
Sweet.
Another pretty cool one here. This is super, super limited. The Hidden NY ASICs.
I tried to get them this morning. Couldn't get them.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you a member?
Mm-hmm.
So here is an official look.
Oh, the look's out there.
Yep. So it was tossed in the Soul Savvy chat this morning. They're very industrial looking. They're kind of beat up. Dyed. It looks like they're very customized. I don't know. They're all right.
It's an art piece. Is what they were just messing around and trying to, just make it look like a what is it in New York, like where they put up all the billboards and stuff, or the
it looks like that. Yep.
You just rip them off and put a new one. That's sort of what this is inspired by. I DM'd him right when I saw that there was an ASIC sneaker coming out, and I was like, stop teasing. What is it? And he sent me this photo, and he was like, don't show anybody. So I was
there you go.
Wanting to talk about it, but it's already out there. So that's good.
It is. Yep, because they're dropping today. So
yeah, that one hurt. By the time I was in the site, they were gone. Shocker.
No shock. 25 pairs.
Yeah, dunzo. But those are cool. I just love what they're doing, and I'm really excited to see where they take this ASICS partnership, because they can do so much. They've already had a good year. I mean, 2 shoes, 3 shoes now, I guess.
We had them in our top 10 list. So
comment on that post too. He was like,
yeah. Well, I mean, he nailed it. I mean, it's hard not to recognize it.
Yeah. Real recognize real.
This is kind of a cool one here. Friends of ours, Happy Life Wood. He finally unveiled an artwork piece that he's been working on for a long time. Full scale 3D Jordan 1 Low, completely made out of wood. No paints, no stains, nothing, but looks incredible.
Yeah. This was too cool. And I'm not super well read on this whole art project. Is this just like a personal piece he did just to do it? Or was this like a commission for somebody?
He's been trying to make a 3D shoe for years and years and years. And he finally figured out the techniques to do it.
Okay.
From what I understand. And so this is a piece you can buy. I think that unless they've sold it, just figured out I can finally do this. It took a super long time to do. Because every piece of wood is a different species. You can't just he doesn't stain them or paint them. So this Nike Air on the insole is perfectly cut out Nike Air,
that's crazy.
With the custom style, the wings logo, everything is put together. So yeah, talk about a piece of art. I mean, this is the ultimate.
That's just so cool. It's just there's nothing better than this.
Yeah, so pretty cool. Shout out to them. Very impressive.
That's too cool. I wonder how would you even price that? I wonder what he's selling this for. It's
art. I mean, so it's what do you pay for an artist's work?
That's just fascinating, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
Too cool.
Final one here before we get to our lists. Adidas unveiled a new Terex Sky Chaser model in Gore-Tex tooling. I thought this looks super sick.
Yeah. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. So it's very industrial, very Solomon vibe, very outdoorsy. Just looks good. All black, couple of orange and blue hits.
Dude, pairing that with orange socks, in the promo photo, that pops, dude. Very Gorp core.
Exactly. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that. Kind of cool.
All right, so we got to stop for a second and talk about one of our sponsors, APTHCRY.
With Christmas almost here, they just announced their newest ugly Christmas sweater socks.
And not only are they the softest and most comfortable socks that you'll ever try,
but they also have some fun colorways such as the Deck the Halls and the Bah Humbugs,
as well as the Twisted Peppermints and the Yuletides, so you can rock these during the holiday season.
Or even at your next ugly Christmas sweater contest.
They also have a special holiday drop going on where you can purchase a mystery pack of 10 random socks for $100 instead of the typical $150.
And the best part is they hid golden tickets inside. And if you find one, you can win prizes such as sneakers, gaming systems, gift cards, and more.
We only rock Apothecary, and you should too.
So check out Apothecary on their social channels or go to apothecary.com. And now back to the podcast.
All right, we're back. Where do we want to start? How do you want to execute this?
I say, so basically the way we did this was we did our top 10 bias list last week, and I, like many other people, think it's hard to just toss only 10 shoes. I mean, I do sneaker news every week. There's 20 pairs dropping every week. Like, top 10 is crazy. So I was like, well, let's do it. Let's break it up into categories. And we didn't want to do full top 10 lists for everything. We did top 3 lists. So we did top 3 independent shoe brands, top 3 collab shoes, top 3 packaging, like box, cool packaging, stuff like that. And then top 3 materials. So high quality materials are stuff that we personally like. So I say we start with independent shoe brands.
Let's do it. Do you want to go first or me? What you thinking?
I can get it started on this one.
Do it.
So I have the independent shoe world I've kind of gotten to know quite a bit this year. It's been something where it's different. There's a lot of new faces in it. And so let me start off with my number 3 pick. This is a company or a brand or a person I've only become really familiar with this year, and I've gotten some of his shoes in. Been very impressed with what I've seen in hand. Some of it's a little cookie cutter, and that's why I put it at 3. But at my 3 spot for third favorite independent shoe brand this year, I got John Geiger.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I've seen him everywhere this year. I feel like he had a huge presence as far as like the sneaker media goes. I haven't seen him much over the past few years, but this year was like, he was going strong, dude. And a cool design.
Yeah, I think the big thing with independent shoe brands is there's a lot that get overlooked, and there's a lot that maybe get too much praise where they don't deserve it. And so the thing that I've had with him in the past was it was all knockoff stuff. It was all knockoff Air Forces. It was all knockoff Dunks, the GF01s. Like, never been a fan of that stuff. And so where I really think brands excel is making their own model. And for me, this new 004 model, the only downside that I see with it is the outsole is not super nice personally, but everything else is custom. It's a good shoe. It's a shoe that I think a lot of people will wear and are wearing, and it just looks good to the eye. So I think that that's where he started to excel.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right, we're going to my number 3. I'm trying to make sure it doesn't share the entire screen because I would love. Yeah. All right. See a few tabs, but mine was Stray. I'm not super big into the, I guess, non-big brand sneaker world. I typically just stick with what I like, but Stray's been on my list of like just shoes I wear almost every day for going on 2-3 years now, and they've been killing it, dude. They've definitely gained a lot of traction this year with Jake Paul. He was wearing their shoes in almost all of his press interviews outside of like the most recent ones. They actually made him a custom pair to wear after like the Mike Tyson sort of deal too, which was awesome. But I feel like they've sort of come into their own with like the puffier sneakers, some of the more premium suedes and designs. Like, I just love seeing what they do. And as a skater, I love to support them because in the skate world, it's hard to really have a substantial brand so you can get your footprint in. So shouts out to them. And they show love all the time, which is just incredible. I was wearing them before I was even connected with them. And I've been seeing more people wear their stuff. Like these I wear every single day. I have them on my feet right now. Little comfy, just mule loafers. I love it.
I know you've worked with them quite a bit this year, so that's fitting.
It makes sense to me. But yeah, that's my number 3.
All right, number 2, personal. Former Minnesotan. worked with him on a few different things. We kind of got connected because of cleats, and that's the lane that he got started in, was custom cleats. It is Mach. And for me, this is one just because Nordic Warrior Runner. This is a Vikings whiteout colorway, essentially. I actually have this hat. He's done golf shoes. I've talked to him a lot. He's really nice guy, puts a lot of work into what he does. Expensive collection. He's done clothing. He does a lot of custom shoes for guys on the field, on the court. The only thing I'll say about the model is it's expensive, and it's definitely a model that you got to have a taste for. For me, I'm going to be completely honest, like I always am. It's not a model that I'm a super big fan of wearing. It's super comfortable. I have the twins pair. I have another pair, so it's like I like them. I like the look of them. I just, something about it's like doesn't fit my foot very well, but it is very comfortable midsole. And so that's kind of something with independent brands. It's like you gotta, like, it's totally dependent on the look of the shoe, and like that's it. So, and then the companies that are independent that really take the branding approach, which will be my number one pick, it's a big difference. So yeah, Mach, he's been killing it this year. He does a whole bunch of different stuff. They're really high quality shoes when you get them in hand, which is nice. He uses premium materials, so maybe that justifies the $290 price point for a pair. But they're definitely on the steep end, which I think is definitely a barrier to entry for people buying from a brand that they've never bought from before. So it's like when you buy from Nike or you buy from Adidas, you kind of have a baseline of like, oh, I wore a pair of Nikes when I was a kid, or like, you know what to expect. And so when you're buying a pair of shoes from a company that you've never seen in hand or ever seen on foot, like, it's basically a shot in the dark. So $300 is tough, but if it's premium materials, then I guess I get that a little bit more.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love what he's been doing. He's been on my radar for years now. Obviously, I haven't purchased any or worked with him at all, so I have no skin in the game or really don't know quality-wise. But I've seen his designs posted on Instagram year after year. Killing it, dude. Definitely making a name for himself, which, let's do it. Let's do it, dude.
There you go.
Killing it. So my number 2 on the list, it's one that you just talked about. It was John Geiger. Again, haven't tried his stuff personally. I have friends that have loved all of his different products. I know I've had a few friends actually over the years rocking the G-Force ones. I remember when I worked at Champs, one of the girls that worked with me had a pair of the OG, I guess, 002 lows. That was the sneaker I was first exposed to by him. Had to have been 20, like 8, maybe like 19-ish. Those were really big on my radar. Wasn't really a big John Geiger like fan by any means. I just sort of knew him from his shoes. But yeah, dude, just seeing his brand and the whole John Geiger brand, I guess, of itself growing over the years. It's cool to see. And this fashion, the fashion is really sick. I know John Thrifts has been wearing some of his pullovers and, you know, just zip ups, and they all look good. So hopefully one day try them out.
There you go.
Bingo, bingo.
All right. My number one spot, I said it was marketing based. It's a company that's almost elevated out of the independent shoe brands, just because they're like killing it so much that it's almost becoming super mainstream. No two ways. No two ways. I feel like I kind of have like a two-piece here.
Okay.
My other number one was Kizzo Kicks. Jake Polino, he's been killing it. Just personally, the shoe models besides this last Christmas one, I'm not personally a fan of, but I know there's so many different things that they're doing. They're just a super creative team. Him over there and Zuki, and like, they're just doing bags, they're doing belts, they're doing a bunch of different stuff. So they're 2025 on the lookout for them. But
yeah,
no two ways this year, I feel like, has stepped up from a former creator brand, YouTuber, Calix. Like, they're like a brand now. Like, it's a deal. And they did the mochas. They did a whole bunch of different drops. I've worked with them pretty closely for the last couple of years. The one thing that they do excel on, packaging, marketing materials, and quality of materials, as well as designs. So they have multiple different designs. They keep it fresh. They do fun things with the community and the marketing terms where they do mystery boxes. I had a mystery box get delivered today that I got to do where it's like you buy it for $180 and you get a random shoe. They have a whole bunch of different models. They did hike models. They did 3-in-1 foams. They did a low top version in this pair I really, really like. Like there's just so many different things that they're trying, and a lot of it's really working. So no two ways. They've really, really stepped it up this year, and I'm excited to see what they do this coming year.
Yeah. They've been everywhere too. I've been really excited to see what they're doing. The styles just aren't for me. So it's one of those brands and I'm like, oh, okay, I see you're making moves, but you know, until they come out with a shoe that I would personally wear, I'm just sort of watching from the sidelines, but I love what they're doing. So for my number one, I don't think I've ever talked about this brand on the podcast, but I've been having some conversations with the owner pretty much throughout this entire year. We'll probably come out with like a collab video or something early next year, but it is Collegium. I think you've worked with them in the past.
No, I've always wanted to. I think I sent them a cold DM like 2 years ago, being like, "Hey, like, can you send me some shoes to review? Like, I'm a broke college kid, like, because they're higher retail, they're very nice, but I've never worked with them. I've always been a big admirer of them. I know Kevin Concepts and Ralph Romeo over there on the West Coast are big guys. They're kind of help out with them and the marketing and stuff.
Like same sort of deal. I cold DM'd him. I think I cold DM'd him back in February, and he randomly DM'd me back like 3 months ago, being like, "Oh, dude, I didn't even see you shot me a message, but here's my number. Like, let's figure something out." So we've been texting on and off. So hopefully something comes of that. But I just remember seeing this model specifically, like the Destroyer Low, Destroyer High, probably 2 or 3 years ago, getting a lot of traction. Obviously, it's a higher retail, so it's harder to get into the space, sort of like what you were talking about for the last few brands. Like if you're creating a sneaker from scratch, and I know all this is from, I think majority of their sneakers, if not all, are made in Italy. So higher prices across the board. But outside of these models, which I believe are probably their most well-known, they've just been getting more into their own lane as far as like mature luxury footwear goes. Like they're coming out with a great selection of like lower top models. They're doing Tom Sachs almost look-alike shoes. They're doing loafers, like the whole 9 yards. And these shoes I think are so good. The Pistas, like they're beautiful. So I just think they are doing a great job. And even over the past 2 months since I've started talking to them, they're coming out with even more styles. And I'm just like, dude, I can't even keep up. But like these, the mock toes, beautiful, beautiful shoes. So if you're looking for a more, I guess, mature, like coming of age sneaker, and you don't really know where to start, I feel like it's a great starting point, and you're getting high quality too. So they're on my list. I want to be wearing them more next year for sure.
You definitely your style. I can see that 100%. Definitely a more mature shoe, high quality materials. So that's solid. I like it.
Sweet. What you got? Or no, that was your number one.
That was it. You picked the next category and you could take it away.
Let's see what we got.
Collab, packaging, and materials.
I kind of want to do packaging. Packaging is one of those cool things that I'm always just, it's one of the most exciting parts of getting a new sneaker is opening that box. And when the unboxing experience is top tier, like it just makes the sneakers so much cooler, especially in my eyes. My number 3, it's a newer release, but the Amine New Balance 740. I just thought the box looking like his laptop from school, having like even the sides of the box, you have the sort of like charging ports, HDMI ports. You open it, you have the keyboard with all the little hidden details, all the stickers from his school. I just think it's super cool. And I feel like if I was going to do a collaboration around, you know, where I came from and schools and whatnot, having your laptop be the center of focus, especially for him being in music, like it's cool. And every time I look at the box, there's another cool little detail that I missed. So I like those. I thought that was exceptional this year.
I like it. I like it. My number 3 spot, kind of, middle of the year release. Nothing crazy, but it's also crazy at the same time. Like, it's just very different than what we see, and they actually went out of the way to like make a cool box. It's the Artifact Dunk box. So I have the whole collection. They look super cool. You can basically display your shoes inside if you want. It looks like a futuristic capsule. It's got a see-through element, and not even just the box, but the extras that they put in there. So you look right here, there was tabs, there was extra laces. They put a whole sticker pack inside with a whole bunch of different stickers. Like, it was not even just a pair of shoes. They went over and above to think about how can we make this like an experience. So Artifact knocked it out of the park. It's a shame it's not getting continued.
I know. It hurts, dude. They were just getting started too. So hopefully something comes from that in the future. My number 2, this is a brand that we worked with, and they sent us both of these shoes, but the packaging, I thought was just freaking awesome, dude. The Haribo Dawn issue 6. You knew this one had to be on it.
I'll save the time. That's also my number 2.
I think, let's see. Where's a picture of the actual box? I know there has to be one. But it's literally, it's a gummy bear box, dude. It's so cool. I think you just can't beat it. And the nutrition facts on the back, it's just cool. There's nothing.
That was shout out to you as well. You sent me a couple of your sample pairs. I really appreciate it. Those are some of my favorite shoes that have dropped all year, and it's tough because like the top 10 list, there's so many cool pairs, and this is one that was like, this is the best one of like this. Like, I hope they do this with the AE1. Like, what is Ant's favorite candy? Like, let's do one of these. Like, let's get some special edition stuff like this. Like, random brands, when people collaborate with them, and I'll get into more of it with different lists that we have here. But like, when a random brand that you would never even think about it collabs with a company like Haribo gummy bears, like, I love these gummy bears. Like, and then you make the box, like, super cool. It's just a win, big time.
Yeah, and the special gummy bear packaging that they came with, the Don or Spider's picks. Like, it's too cool, man. Applaud.
Yeah, that was my number 2. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, it's simple, but it's so good at the same time.
I love that. Glad we were on the same page with that one. I guess that brings me to my number 1. This one, I think, deserved a lot more recognition from the sneaker community. Like, I saw a few people talking about it, but the unheard ofs, dude, this packaging was crazy. One of my boys dropped off a pair and he wanted me to do a review. I just didn't get around to reviewing the sneaker, but I had them in my possession for about a week, and just looking through everything they give you with it, like, it's just cool. It comes in a briefcase, bro. Like, no one does that anymore. Jordan used to, but they sort of stopped because I guess just they don't want to do it. I don't know. But tons of stickers, tons of charms. I think it's really dope. Yep. It's too cool. And like, that sneaker would be way higher up on my list if it, to me, is a sneaker I would wear. Personally, it's just not my style, but the execution knocked it out of the park, dude. Really excited to see what they do with their next collaboration, the one we were talking about earlier, the pink pair.
Yep.
It'll be cool.
It's no surprise that's my number 1 as well.
Is it really? Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I have that box on display on my case over there because it's like, it looks so cool.
It's just dope.
Yeah, they knocked it out of the park.
The same 1 and 2. What honorable mentions did you have, if any? Because I know there was a ton of cool packaging, and it took me a while to sort of sit through it all. Like, all the hidden collabs, they had great, special boxes with prints on them. I was kind of disappointed in the Fear of God Basketball 2 packaging, because they definitely downgraded the experience from the basketball one, but that also helped with them
Mm-hmm.
decreasing the price overall. So I get it, but we can see what they can do. And that was cool to see.
I mean,
Crocs Pollux.
I was thinking about that. Yep.
That was really cool.
There was some good special boxes too. Like my Pokemon Crocs special box was pretty cool. The giant Pokeball. Yeah, honestly, I didn't really have any honorable mentions. It was kind of obvious this year.
Yeah. Grandma's Driveway. That one was pretty cool. A little more low key, but I thought that one was good.
Some details, some cool inserts and stuff. But yeah.
Even Jumpman Jacks, like those had a pretty cool new box design.
Very thick box, very big.
I liked those. Do they come with dust bags for the retail pairs? I think so.
Maybe I'd have to look in my box.
Yeah, it's one of I haven't unboxed a pair in so long, so I'm like, I don't even remember. But yeah, I think that's it.
There you go.
There's definitely stuff we're missing, but off the top of my head, that's what we had.
Yeah, I mean, I gave it some thought on these lists, so it was like, that was just my obvious ones. But
love that we're twinning. Well, let's do collabs or materials.
Let's do materials.
Let's do it.
I'll get this one started.
Okay.
For me, there's multiple ways you can look at materials, whether it's high quality or personal favorite or whatever you want to basically say about it. For me, this is one that I had to give some thought because I was like, what direction do I want to go with it? And so my number 3 spot's not necessarily a high quality material, but it's a material. A different material that I think we're going to see a lot of in 2025, and that is the Adidas Climate Cool 24s. And I say material because they're 3D printed, completely 3D printed.
Yeah.
Now, there was a lot of 3D printed shoes that have come out this year. And the reason why these are on the list is because when you get these in hand, it's not like any other 3D printed shoe. The material they used, the video I did, I don't know, 30 million views. So here you go. Obviously, people were interested in it, but the material was not like any other 3D printed shoes. And on the packaging or on the insert card that they had me talk about the shoes, they basically said, hey, we took like 2 years to make our material way different than everyone else's. And it's completely different. Like it's the first 3D printed shoe that they can scale at mass with shoe creation. And when you get it in hand, it's super soft. Like I could actually see myself wearing it. There's no rough edges. They have the Adidas logo on the side. There's no misprint areas. There's no like, oh, you bend it too many times, it's going to fall apart. Like it's truly one of a kind. So Adidas knocked it out of the park with these crazy shoe in hand. This is like my weird material pick for the category at number 3.
See, that's a shoe I really wanted to include on a sneaker of the year list, but it was like so hard to get them.
Did you really?
I entered like the early raffle because they had like reservations. I entered the reservation and I couldn't even hit on that. I was like, I just want a pair. I think these are really cool. So hopefully next year we see more either, color ways, whether they switch up the stripe colors or something. Like I just want to get my hands on these. I think they're dope.
They're very, very interesting in hand. So yeah, I think if they're actually producing them at scale, I don't see why we wouldn't see more of them.
So we'll see. Hopefully we'll figure something out soon with that. But so I went a little bit of a different approach on the materials side of things. It was really difficult to nail down a singular pair. So I sort of grouped them into, like-minded shoes where it's like the materials are all going to be pretty similar. My first pick for number 3 was the A Ma Maniére While You Were Sleeping pack. The materials on all of them were incredible from what I've seen. I haven't had my hands on a pair of the Air Forces.
You can just tell by the photos, though. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I think the Air Forces and the 4s are the only ones I haven't held in hand. The standout pair for me was the Converse Weapon Low. I wasn't expecting it to be incredible. I know I talked about it on the podcast when I had them, but dude, they just knocked it out of the park. And I really want to see more high quality materials on collaborations. And Ama Manier's the perfect one to really pair that with. Sadly, the pack wasn't super, super crazy as far as how it was perceived. Let's see. Yeah, the Converse are like 170, under retail in the threes, over retail in the 95s, which is pretty intense. Even the fours too. And okay. So, I mean, the collection did decent, but I know a lot of them sat for an extended period of time, which people weren't expecting. But it was cool. I definitely liked it.
I like it.
Dope.
All right, my number 2 spot. Got some ASICs.
Oh,
the Earls collection, the GT 2160. This is a pair that I kind of accidentally bought. I'll be honest. I remember seeing them online, and I was like, "Damn, this is sick." And then seeing the box, and I was like, "Damn, this is sick." Let's see if they have the box photos here. Doesn't look like they do. And I remember got an update. Soul Savvy was like, "Oh, these are for sale," and I was like, "Nah, maybe they'll resell. I don't know." So I bought them. And then I got them in hand. I was like, "Holy, these are insane." The box is super cool. I got to find a picture of the box. The box is super cool. The shoe is super cool. It's very comfortable. I ended up wearing them a ton throughout the year. Just, I don't know if I could find it. It's like a coffee box.
Yeah. Okay. I remember seeing that.
Yep. So it's the materials. It's not even like the material is not even like a mesh. It's like a wicker basket material. Really soft suede. The insoles are super cool. You can see that here. The laces are some of the best laces I've ever seen on a shoe or felt on a shoe. They're super soft and they're super, I don't know what the word is, but they stay tied like
that's
forever.
Nice.
And they're super, super soft and stretchy. The shoe is super comfortable. I like overall, like nobody has said anything about this shoe on any list, sneaker of the year, anything. And it's one of those that was very cohesive and it just worked. And I feel like if they do more in the future, we're definitely going to be recognizing them kind of like a house studio. Like, ooh, this is their second one and they hit it out of the park again. So yeah, these are sleepers. I love them.
I love those too. That's one of, I don't even think I've held those in hand before.
You would fall in love with them, man.
Oh, and I love when ASICS uses suede, which they don't really do on the mesh runners. That's why I was really big into Gel Light 3s, Gel Light 4s, because the suede is just knock it out.
I'm gonna see how much they are because I haven't looked at the price in a long time. I wore them a lot walking the dog this summer, and they were very comfortable.
Yeah, and I know Sneakernomics. He loves this shoe. He talks about it all the time in his videos too.
So good. You should get a pair. You would really, really like them.
I know I will. It's one of, like, if I'm at a sneaker con and see it, I'll more than likely just pick it up because why not?
A couple $100.
That's not bad.
Size 10, 160.
That's not bad.
Ooh, my size spendy. Whoa.
Gee, see, I hate that stuff. Drives me insane. Why can't everything be like similar-ish?
It's all about scarcity, man.
I know.
My size, we're good to go. Yeah, super cool shoe.
I like it. Mine number 2 choice was the obvious choice for me. It was really just any New Balance made in USA or England pair. I sat down trying to figure out which one was the best. These are incredible. I've seen those in hand. Teddy Santis Gray Driftwood, like the green pair I have, great. Like they're all super high quality when it comes to suedes, leathers. You can't beat it. They're the quality kings. New Balance, made in USA. Teddy Santis had a great year. Not a lot of standout pairs this year, I feel like, but there was a lot that just worked. If you want a pretty basic shoe that can go with any outfit, they got you covered. But they are kind of spendy, of course, because high quality materials. Gotta love it.
Yeah. Materials cost money. That's very evident with my last pick.
Okay.
Uh, Jordan 1 Wayne's back.
I
All
like
made in Italy, hand constructed. It's arguably the nicest Jordan 1 high ever made. I mean, everything's the side raw edging is hand painted. The leather is Italian leather. Um, I did a wear test on them. They were cleaned up and they still look brand new. No creasing, nice gum outsole. Material is insane. So I got to get a pair of the lows because the lows look super nice.
I I forget they have lows, dude. I want the lows so bad now.
Yeah, they just don't exist on the internet. So
yeah. So hopefully next year.
I've heard they're rumored to drop in February officially. So retail was $975. So you better like them.
See, that's the thing. I feel like once I get them and try them on, I'll be like,
You can pick the lows up on Goat for $1,600 in my size. Your size is 13.
Oh, much better.
The black pair is only $700.
Well, because the black pair is ugly, dude. Oh, yeah, white with the black
outsole.
I mean, I don't think.
Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, they had a whole collection of sick stuff too with it.
Yeah, Arrow was wild.
This pair, where did it go? Maybe they don't have the image, but it's got a black swoosh and a gray back tab with the gray outsole with sail material. That doesn't look super good.
Yeah, I feel like the black swoosh makes it look cheaper, which is so weird.
They did the outsole and the back heel black as well. It would look like a premium, but
yeah, I just think the all cream with like the raw edging just looks far more premium than the other.
I agree. So yeah, that's my number one.
That one's good. That one's really good. This one pretty much is like a shout out to the brand as a whole, because in the past, I feel like quality wasn't really anything I went to them to look for or like expected, but just Adidas in general, like with Wales Bonner, crushed it with the materials, like the crocodile skin Sambas. And even outside of that, like you had the heart copies, incredible quality. The Bad Bunny, like very nice suede and leather. The Jound Samba, of course, made in Germany. Then they even had the made in Italy Sambas, which retailed for like $300. Like they did their thing. They figured out that people like this sort of silhouette and they went kind of all in on it. As far as materials, like the leathers have all been great. And that I think is just such a major win for them because you and me, like big on materials. And when I'm buying a shoe like this, I don't want to buy one that just has that plastic leather that, the general release pairs do have, or like Air Forces. I want something that's going to look good after I wear it for a weekend, at least, I want the shoe to look good a year from now. So I just think they have been exceptional this year. But yep, Adidas. Shout out to Adidas.
It's valid. Yeah, Adidas. Definitely, if we did a brand ranking list, that would be number one.
They're climbing, dude. Maybe not for everybody, but
I mean, they're basically one of the big 2-3 brands, but yeah, they're definitely making moves for sure.
I like it. I like it.
All right, last category here. We got collabs.
Collab.
Top 3 collabs. Do you want to get us started here?
I can. Let's see. This one was really hard for me to decide. I just went with the Nigels, dude. It's very hard for me to really like a Jordan 4 or really any Jordan model at this point because I'm just like, it's kind of overplayed. But when these were rumored to release and released, it was one of those shoes where I'm like, I can't stop looking at it. And people are talking about it a lot. And especially for it being like sort of a Team Jordan model, there's plenty of other ways that it could have gone with just the whole community being like, nah, this ain't it, like trash. But I feel like it was perceived fairly well. And, Nigel crushed it. I'm excited to see what he does next year with the ones because that is going to be my cup of tea for sure. But this is one that I'm like, I feel like I still definitely want to get my hands on a pair. So if I find one that's like a decent price, I'll probably scoop them. I think they're sick.
They are pretty sick.
Yeah.
I did a wear test in them. I mean, they were nice.
Just that shade of green, bro. Money. Literal money.
Dogs are just having a field day today. Apologies to the listeners if you can hear it. All right, my number 3 for a collab, had to include this in the list. I was thinking Nigel's too, but I was like, I gotta go. Can you hear that dog barking, by the way?
A little bit. It's fine.
It's not registering on the audio, so I think we should be all right.
Here in the background should be good.
Yeah, sorry for the bad behaving dogs, but FedEx keeps coming by and stuff. So, this one I had to include. This one hit home. Talked about this brand earlier in the podcast. Collab, kind of not like an official collab. The name wasn't on the shoe, but it was done by them. Happy Life Wood, Jordan 9. I mean, what a year for them. I mean, they've had a crazy year. Brand's grown a ton, getting a official/unofficial collab with Jordan Brand. And I say unofficial because, like, when you look at the listing on Nike, it doesn't say the Jordan 9 Happy Life Woods, but you get a Happy Life Wood hang tag. It's a wood. Like, the whole thing was them. So they designed it from the ground up. Very cool shoe. I got to take the photos for it that showed up in all the articles, Yahoo, Hypebeast. So that was pretty cool. That was my first official friends and family pair that I've gotten from the friends and family. So yeah, this was like one that was super, super cool. And I remember hearing about this a couple of years ago and like, yeah, we got something crazy in the works, but Steve Jr. was telling me this and he's like, I can't tell you about it, but when it happens, you're going to love it. And then like 2 months before it happened, he's like, give me your address. Like, the thing's happening. And then they showed up and I called him. I was like, holy, like, this is so, and I'm a golfer, so like it's even cooler for me. So I got a couple pairs of these. I can't wait to bring them out in summer, and very, very cool. So Happy Life Wood.
I love it. That one I really wanted to include on my top 10 list too. The only thing, if it wasn't a golf shoe, it would have made it, just because I don't golf. So I'm like, it's not a shoe.
A lot of people would have said that too, but
killed that shoe, dude. It was so cool to see them like essentially blow up and have a shoe with Jordan Brand. Like, it's amazing. Talk about a milestone.
Yeah, they've been knocking it out of the park, to say the least.
Yeah. All right. Well, my number 2, I love when a brand just brings people in by the waves, where they just grab them and they don't let them go. Like, this collaboration again brought just people and people over to ASICS, but it's just the Kith Marvel. Everyone's talked about it. It's just, they killed it. The packaging, this one was going to be on my packaging list too, because it's just incredible, dude. Kith, Ronnie Feig, the execution every time is just top tier, and people loved these. I loved them, and I'm not even a big Marvel guy. I just think it's such a cool collaboration.
Yeah, I didn't put that on my list, but it was when I started thinking about the list more, it was on there initially. I think that this year's version was better and worse. I say that because it wasn't a blind reveal. That was like the coolest thing ever last year, was the Kith Marvel, was they were all blind reveals and you don't know what pair you get. But there were a lot better models this year and designs that were actually wearable, in my opinion. So that was like the benefit.
Yeah. I go back and forth with it because I love the high quality suedes of the Gel Light 3. But at the same time, I'm like, I like these models a little bit more. So it's hard to decide which one's actually better. But I did love the aspect of blind unboxings and just seeing, what you would get, and fingers crossed the whole time. So, and your videos definitely were incredible. That was a highlight for that whole
trip. That's why I liked it. It was good content. And it would have been cool to do the blind reveal on this one this year. I hope they bring it back. And I did like the cards versus the comics. The comics are cooler looking. The cards were like better for the content, but I don't know.
I get that.
Content's king, man.
Content is king.
All right, my number 2 spot, another one hits close to home for me. Got an early pair from the company, knocked out of the park. It was a fun collab. You were involved in this one. Vandy the Pink, Salt and Speed Cross, 3 of the burgers. Just a fun shoe. Got to talk with Vandy at Complex Con and the team, and got to rock them there early, and just the whole thing was really cool. I have worn them a bunch since then. I love burgers. It's probably top 5 food for me. So maybe we should just start doing random lists, like top 5
food inspired.
Yeah. But I mean, this is just a fun one. So they knocked it out of the park like they typically do. So
I agree.
I've been kind of in the loop on this one for, again, a couple years. This one took to come to fruition, and they just killed it. So
I absolutely agree. And burgers are my favorite food. So
there you go. Can't go wrong. It's like a toss up between pizza and burgers, because it's like they're both like top. There's like go tier, S tier.
Time and place for both,
Yeah. So there you go.
I love those. I'm still waiting for the perfect time to break mine out. We haven't been going out on any hiking or camping trips recently, so I'm waiting for that, but I love them. My number 1, a shoe that 2 shoes, I guess we've talked about a decent amount over the last few episodes, but just hit New York. They had an excellent year. I love these for a whole different reason than I love these. I still don't know which is my favorite. The Venture 6 Shield. I grew up loving dinosaurs. So diving into the whole paleontologist and that whole aspect of the storytelling of the shoe, I loved. The accessories were incredible. I don't typically buy accessories, but when I saw that Raptor and T-Rex stuff, I was like, yep, I'm buying this.
I got one too.
I had to do it just for younger Seth. He would have freaked out. But those 2, the Trey and the T-Rex, I bought by myself. He sent me the t-shirt and the shoes, and I was like, I'm set. This is all I need, baby. They're just too cool. And then the graphic designer aspect of the Gel NYC, like something I use literally every day. I have Photoshop open right now working on a graphic. So it's like,
there you go.
It's 2 different aspects of my life kind of coming together on 2 different shoes. And I wore the Venture 6 Shield for the first time last night, and I loved them. They were so comfortable. But yeah,
there you go.
Just tapping into that nostalgia for me. That was a win.
I love it. I mean, that's Hidden's been killing it too. I did not include them at my number 1 spot. Good. My number 1 spot's total. This list is all like personal connections. Just because it was a big goal of mine for 2024 to build more relationships and to get on more seating lists and just get to meet more dope people. And this is one of those that I met because of another dope person, Andy. And so it's funny. So this is why the sneaker world's fun, is because Andy, who we've had on the podcast, 80 Sneaks, he got a pair from Under Armour to do some photos on. It was a PE, Justin Jefferson PE. He texted me. He's like, I know you're a Vikings fan. Like, do you want these? And I was like, hell yeah, I do. Like, full sample, like super sick. And then he told me who they were from, Steven Leonard, Under Armour guy, and built a whole relationship with him, geeking out about sneaker designs and stories. And he's one of the underrated people, I think, that's killing it at Under Armour with their brand, with multiple people. Kelsey Plum, Bryce Harper, other people under the brand, and that's where this one comes into play. It's the Under Armour Bryce Harper turf shoes is my number 1 pick of the year for a collab.
I like it.
And it's literally a collab. It's a triple collab between Bryce Harper, one of the best baseball players ever, top 100 probably, Under Armour, and then PSA, which PSA cards, they've had a huge year, card world. So there was a couple of different aspects with it. I implore you to go to Steven Leonard's Instagram, Soul by Steven STVN. He is a whole post about everything that went into this. This was a long time coming. PSA is not a company that you can just work with. And they did a whole thing. It was limited to 500 pairs. And I remember seeing him post about him. I'm like, this is just cool. It's a cool thing. And it was limited to 500 pairs. I didn't even know that it was limited to 500 pairs, but they did 20 of the cards were signed by Bryce Harper, and you got a little PSA card. They're signed by him. And if you were lucky enough, you got a pair that was signed. And the shoes itself, so they did a turf shoe that he wore in the game. And then the shoe itself, it's an Under Armour shoe. It's not my favorite model. I do have a pair that I've still got to break out. It's very bold. It's got some cool elements. My favorite is the little PSA tag on the back heel. Pretty cool. And I was gracious enough to get a pair that had a signed card. So it's like one of my grails that is going to be in the collection forever. It's just like a super cool deal. Steven's just become a really good friend. So I figured triple collab, cool personal collection. It's kind of perfect. So there you go.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
It was a collection that never got the recognition when it first dropped. Like, it's got Under Armour's big brand, Bryce Harper, big brand, and PSA, like in the card world, huge brand. And it was a mystery box hunt for the signed pair. And to this day, there's like the pairs without unsigned cards go for like $400 on eBay. I was just looking. And so I have an unsigned pair too that I could break out. But the signed cards, there's never been a single, and I'm never going to sell mine, so don't even ask. But the signed cards there's never been a pair with a signed card for sale. Yes. So who knows what they go for? But it's like they just knocked it out of the park. So go look at his post, because he talked a lot about everything with it and the amount of storytelling and everything they do with it. They killed it. So long-winded, but worth it, because they need the recognition.
Yeah. Respect. That's a good one. That's a really good pick for you. I dig it.
There you go.
I like it a lot.
All right. Cap on a good year. Any favorite moments from 2024 with the podcast?
Dude. I mean, definitely getting to work with eBay as far as the podcast goes. That was huge. Doing our first in-person episode with Andy. That was huge. I just thought that was so much fun. But outside of that, it's just been a crazy year for both of us. Working with,
especially you've you got to look at the numbers at the beginning of the year. You've hopped off big time.
It was definitely the year where I guess social media caught up with all the work, that you're putting into it every day. Because I mean, it's always the first year, 2 years, you put in a ton of work. You don't get a lot from that work. And this year was just the year where it all sort of hit the fan all at once, and got to work with some of the coolest brands that I never thought I would ever work with. And it's looking back on this year, I've been trying to just write down all the things that I thought were milestones that are just
a lot.
Never thought I would do this, never thought I would do that. And it's I'm super blessed and just grateful for everyone who's messed with my stuff, let alone your stuff. Because your stuff was so cool this year too, man.
There's a lot. There's too much.
I know.
There's too much to cover. I mean, it was just an incredible year. I think the big thing with the podcast for me was the eBay deal, of course. I feel like it got put on the front burner, not the back burner, for the first time. I mean, this podcast world is a slow burn. It is. I mean, we've put our own brands into it as much as possible, and I think that's definitely a play in 2025 is getting more. There was too many times this year where it was oh, I didn't even know you've had a podcast, and that was gut punch. And then you get the moments where it's oh, I listened to the podcast, and that's insane, even better than the gut punch, in the inverse, it's insane, it makes your week. But the gut punches were good because it's eye opening, we're doing this, but it's kind of half-ass. And so for me, it's been a big thing. Get sponsors like APTHCRY, who's been super gracious enough to come on board with us. That was a big goal for this year, was to get our first sponsor. And we did it. We did it by the end of the year. We made it happen. So I think next episode, we got to make some new goals and things to put out in the world. But I think clips, big thing, big heavy hitter going into the new year. the YouTube, you've been knocking it out of the park. We kind of divvy up tasks, and Seth's the YouTube guy doing the videos. So thank you for doing that all year. They've definitely taken a step up. Our just overall, I think our brand has grown a lot, and it's been very exciting because it's like there's like a light at the end of the tunnel, like way at the far, like a little candlelight. You barely see it. It's like 10 miles away, but that's like there's so much to go, but we've been going for super long time that it's very exciting because it feels like a whole new video game. Like, oh, build this like business and account. Like it's like we've kind of done that for ourselves, and it's like, oh, this is a whole new thing we can plug into. So
that's too true.
It's been a great year. It's been something where like we've gotten to be better friends. We've seen each other in person a lot more than the previous years, and it's like it's grown into a thing that's like, all right, I can see this like working for the next 10 years. So
absolutely, dude. And just going back and listening to older episodes, it's like, oh yeah, we're definitely getting better every day. And not an overnight thing by any means, but it's
and there's definitely like everyone's obviously on social media like, oh, we got to make podcasting gear more expensive, and there's levels to it. Like my old videos on my personal page are dog, like they're terrible, and the first episodes are pretty bad too, like like just not being able to speak. I think we've progressed that a lot. We got pod gear, we're getting the cameras and the desks figured out, like we're working at it. So it's definitely a front burner thing. It's a focus every day. It's not like, oh, we'll get a clip out like once a month. No, it's like it's going to be a big thing for 2025. So if you've been along for the journey or this is your first episode, there's a lot more in the works.
Yes, sir. Well, cool. That's pretty much it. And next week we can sort of set goals for the year and just, set expectations. Just brainstorm ideas. But I think it'll be fun. But thank you everybody for listening to today's episode and listening to us this year. Whether this is the first episode you've listened to or the
99th.
Yeah, this is the 99th episode.
Is the 100th episode going to be the first one of the year?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Isn't that cool?
Sick. That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, cheers to 2025. Appreciate you all.
Peace.
Peace.